hard knocks, cruise through at the hard top. Y'all know the movement, the smooth prints with the large knots. In the most ditchiest times, I still stayed with the wittiest rhymes. First I claimed the borough, now the whole city is mine. I set the street straight, it's a 5-borough in each state. Y'all know I lead great. Shout outs to my fans that was patiently waiting for my release date.
On a house that has been around since 1958. It is called Knize, and the fragrance is called Knize 10. Now, Knize is an Austrian house that's roots go back over 150 years. They were a local tailor shop who basically caught the attention of the Archdukes of Hansborough, and they commissioned the lead designer, Ernest Dresden, to make and tailor clothes for royalty. And they're still going strong. They're pretty much known for making the best suits in Austria and some of the best suits in the world. They get their wool from very small distributors in Italy and England, and their bespoke suits take about 10 days to make and have 7,000 handmade stitches. They do about 8,000 suits annually, and 1,000 suits annually, and the average suit from Knize runs about 8,000 American dollars. So this is really high-end stuff. In 1924, Knize released their first fragrance, which was made for men and simply called 10. There was a polo player on the box, and the number 10 denotes the highest handicap score a player can get in polo. Now, since then, this fragrance has gone through quite a few reformulations. There are some people who say the fragrance is very different from the original, and some say the fragrance is very close to the original, so who knows. If you're interested in picking up this fragrance or any of the Knize fragrances for that matter, Lucky Scent does have them. There are currently 5 fragrances. This one you see here is the 50 ml bottle, and the 50 ml bottle on Lucky Scent goes for $70, and the 125 ml bottle on Lucky Scent goes for $115. But if you're in New York, that's probably not your best way to get your hands on these 10. If you're in New York, you should go down to Pasteur Pharmacy, which has 2 locations in Midtown, and both of them carry this scent and all of the Knize scents in both sizes. Those of you who've watched my shaving videos know that I really like Pasteur Pharmacy. It's very old, family owned. The one is in the East 30s, the other's conveniently near my apartment on 62nd and Lexington. And if you're a fan of wet shaving or fragrances in general, please check Pasteur out. They have so many classic wet shaving brands: Santa Maria Novella, Geo Trumper, Trueford and Hill, Taylor, D.R. Harris, Check and Speak, Bromley, Castle Forbes, and they have some nice fragrances as well: Penhaligon's, Knize, Check and Speak, some other houses as well. And again, the entire Knize line, fragrances, the shaving soaps, and any other grooming products. And the reason why I sort of found out about this is because on my way home from work, every day I pass by Pasteur, and I'm just always popping in to see if they have new stuff. And one day they had all of the Knize stuff out, and the 2 that I liked best was this one and one called Forest. And Forest is really beautiful. It's sort of a spicy version of Green Irish Tweed, also on my to-buy list. But I needed to get this one first. And you know, the way that I know if I want to buy a scent is usually how often I go back to my hand or wrist or the tester that it's on and keep smelling it. And I kept coming back to this one. Notes on Knize 10, which does of course come in an EDT concentration. You can see toilet water on this, but notes on this guy are lemon, orange, bergamot, petit grain, rosemary, geranium, rose, cedar, orris, carnation, cinnamon, orange blossom, sandalwood, leather, musk, moss, patchouli, ambergris, castoreum, and vanilla. And as you could see, I got a 50 ml of this at Pasteur for $63. So cheaper, or $64, cheaper than what they do have it at Lucky Scent for. As I said, Lucky Scent is a little bit more expensive for the 2 sizes. Pasteur also has 125 ml of this for around $100. As far as your presentation goes, box is real basic. Knize 10, the gentleman's fragrance, toilet water natural spray. You see the price there. You know, insignia on the top. You have batch code and barcode on the bottom. Nothing on the sides, and on the back it just says Knize Company, established 1858 in Vienna. You have a reference number and the ingredients. Bottle is really simple as well. Knize 10, the gentleman's fragrance, toilet water, little sticker and batch code on the bottom. Should match up. And then nothing on the rest of the bottle. Light plastic cap and a pretty nice atomizer. So look, is this, you know, is this blowaway presentation by Knize? No, obviously not, but it's also classic, and they've been doing it for a while, and why fuck with what works, I guess. So, you know, guys, I purchased this the day after I purchased Knize from the Dior Privé line. And in case you guys don't know about that one, that's a floral leather fragrance. And I was sort of thinking, should I get this one, you know, so close to just getting Knize? And I did go through with it, and I realized pretty quickly that even though these fragrances are somewhat similar, they're also different enough to justify buying both. Knize, which if I already haven't posted the review of, it will be up soon, is a very floral leather that mainly centers around orange blossom. This one is more nuanced, and there's a lot more to it. So what do I get when I smell Knize 10? There's a lot. I mean a lot. And the first thing that I think about this fragrance is that it's a cologne for a dandy. You know, who I can picture wearing this is like a well-dressed, slightly older European businessman. And I just think it's that sort of scent, you know, it just reeks of sophistication and class. And what I get note-wise out of this off the top is leather with smoke. Leather with very light smoke, some woods. I almost get like a birch note in this, and resins. Definitely some resins. There's castoreum in this. I know that's a musk, but you could tell there's some real strong notes sort of playing for dominance in this. And underneath all of these very assertive dominant notes is a really beautiful base of creamy, you know, almost tropical florals. I was really surprised not to see ylang ylang in the note breakdown of this, because there's like this tropical banana vibe in the middle and base in this fragrance. But you know, that's what the top of this smells like. It's a little harsh, it's very assertive, and it just has a contingent of powerful notes, all striving for prominence. You kind of have to be a bit patient with Knize 10 because of the top. You know, it's really easy to write this off as a clumsy effort and sort of no different than how a lot of fragrances in the 80s tended to smell. And in retrospect now, you know, smelling this is pretty cool, because I do think that a bunch of 80s fragrances were trying to be like Knize 10. But as this dries down, it really softens up quite beautifully, and you're left with a really clean leather accord with some just beautiful florals in it. And that's where I think this fragrance can really draw people in, because it's that there's this men's fragrance that's very soft, very understated, and very elegant, and it's just a man's man cologne. Performance-wise, I think it's fantastic for an EDT. I get about 10 hours with a good 6 to 8 of projection, and you kind of want to be a little bit light on the trigger with this one, because it's fairly potent, and over applying it, you're going to kind of smell like that cologne guy with this one. I think it'll do great in the fall and winter, and you could push it to the spring because it's floral. It will work in the spring, but I think it's a little too much for the dog days of summer. And I also think this is a men's fragrance primarily, but I'm sure there's some woman who would like to wear this, and I think it's definitely doable, and the right woman could easily pull this fragrance off. As far as occasion-wise, to me, I think this is like one of the best office scents you can wear in the fall or cold weather. You just, again, gotta be real light with the trigger. And you know, I know a few women who online, you know, and ones that I'm friends with, that have said that this is usually, you know, middle-aged, a little bit older, but I think this is a very sexy scent. So it could be a great date scent for the right woman. I'm gonna rate Knize 10 an 8 out of 10. The packaging could probably benefit from some update, but the fragrance was a trailblazer, and it performs very well. It's not the best fragrance I've ever smelled, and in the leather genre, I sort of prefer some of the newer favorites in the genre, like Tuscan leather, and like Yucca Wam, and Black Saffron, and even Mona de Orio's Cure. But at this price point, for me, this is a no-brainer for someone to have. If you have a serious fragrance collection, I don't see how you don't have Knize 10 in it. So, what I do now at the end of my videos, what is this comparable to? And what would someone say who's trying to get you to buy this? And what would someone say who's trying to dissuade you from buying this? Well, I think what's comparable to this fragrance, if you don't want to get this one, but you're looking for that same sort of floral leather scent, well, Knize by Dior is very, is pretty close to this. As I said, it's more floral, I think, and less assertive than this one. It's way more delicate, but it's sort of like this. Cure Marasque by Serge Lutens, another one, very, very close to this, a little bit different. And then Bandit by Robert Piguet is also a good deal like Knize 10. Someone who was trying to get you to buy this, a salesman, they would probably say that you have to have this in your collection because of the historical significance, and at its price point, it's an absolute steal in the niche category. And someone who was trying to dissuade you from buying this fragrance would probably say that this is an old-fashioned scent. There are more modern takes on this kind of fragrance. And, I think that's probably the only negative I really could see someone saying about this, calling it dated. The price is great. I think the fragrance is really good. And I just think, it's sort of just one of those classic fragrances, and there's not many of these for men. There are a few that are old classics. Pour un Homme by Caron, Pour Monsieur by Chanel, Eau Sauvage by Dior. I don't want to say there are no GIT by Creed. I don't want to say there are no classic men's fragrances out there, but definitely less for men than women. And this one often gets slept on, which I think is disappointing. I know Mark, Robes 08 has shined a little bit of light on this guy and some other reviewers as well, but I wanted to come out and do a full review of this for guys who are curious about this one. Look, guys, at this price, I would say, if you're a collector like me, it's a great niche at your collection for not too high of a price, and it's going to get you, I think it'll get you some compliments if you go 1 or 2 sprays on a nice cold day. I think some people will like this, so definitely check it out. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed this review. We'll be back soon next week with more videos, more reviews.
It ain't shit done. Respecting where I'm at, but still repping where I'm from. New York.
Smell like New York, walk like New York, talk like New York. That's him. The Prince of New York, I'm soon to be king. Now watch Lawman grandson get it in. Catch whiplash when the whip pass. Posted on